up, guys? How are we all doing out there today? Hope you guys are all well. Welcome back for another video on the channel. Today it's just going to kind of be an all-around, just doing a bunch of things on the car. Probably mainly wiring. I'm going to show you guys what I kind of do for wiring and, turbo feed line, oil feed, some piping, downpipe, maybe front mounts, radiator. We're going to kind of see how everything fits up, lines up, and just kind of do little things here and there. As you guys can see, I have a fuel rail. Yes, it's purple. They didn't have a black one. We're gonna put this in, or maybe not. We will see. We'll see where we get today. But I got a bunch of stuff that came in, so we'll just kind of get going, guys. And yeah, stay tuned. So here are just a few parts that I'm gonna probably be working with today. Obviously, we got the fuel rail here. We got our oil feed line. We have a SARD fuel pressure regulator. We have a 4-inch to 3-inch coupler for the turbo. We have a pod filter. Over here we have a little 90-degree elbow for the turbo because I don't know if you guys have seen it in the last episode, but I tried to do a silicone bend and it was just a little bit too bulbous, you know? That's a good word. I like that word, bulbous. But hey, so we're gonna go with this guy. Should kind of make it all more, sleek and compact looking. Up here we just have a few parts for our battery relocation. This is a 250 amp breaker. Basically what this allows, you can just turn off and turn off and on your power without disconnecting your battery. Here we have a power distribution block which will be sitting in the engine bay. Here we have just something that sits on your positive terminal. It just kind of adds a bunch of like a little ports there if you want to just run something directly to the battery still and just get positive power. Oh yeah, and here we have some vibrant intercooler piping. We have some bends and some straights. So we're gonna go ahead and see what we can come up with for intercooler piping, kind of finish that off. And over there is my pipe for the downpipe. And then got a bunch of parts here. So we still got parts on the way. We got a few parts still coming. So definitely stay tuned, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and just start getting into the actual stuff that I'm gonna be doing today. But yeah, those are the parts that I'm gonna be working with a little bit today. And yeah, so let's just get started. Alright, so we're in the engine bay here obviously, and I basically just redid my whole lower engine harness, lower engine transmission harness, that kind of thing. Basically what I did is I just took off all the connectors because when your fuse box is in here, I don't know, all the new guys that are newly subscribed, I tucked my fuse box last year, so none of that stuff is in the engine bay anymore. It's all inside the car. So basically there used to be a bunch of connectors that hooked up to the fuse box to get power and all that stuff. So basically what I did is I cut all the connectors off. I'll bring you guys inside, and if it's messy in here, if the light's poor, I do apologize. Hopefully it's not too bad. But it's not the prettiest, but it works. I'm not that anal where it has to be like immaculate. All the stuff will get, routed and tucked obviously, but in here we have, as my shadow, get you some light in there. So there's a connector, and there's one like up there. Those all used to sit in the engine bay. So basically what I did is I chopped them up and kind of extended them and routed them to where they need to go. So now up here in the engine bay, I got all these wires that are originally from the harness, got them routed. So now there's no connectors. It's just basically hooked onto the actual, so for the alternator I just have it hooked up and then it just goes wire all the way back and the connector is inside the car. So you don't see the connector. Before I used to have them all kind of tucked away back in this corner and it was just like a large, just big pile up that just looked messy. And obviously I'm not trying to go for a full shaved bay, but with this whole setup and now that it's painted, I really want to make it look as clean as possible. So everything is pretty simple once you start diving into it. Wiring can be a little bit, it can be intimidating I guess, but once you figure out what, it's usually just power, ground, signal, it's basically pretty simple. So if you guys have any questions, specifically about this, just drop them down in the comments below. But real simple stuff. I had a wiring specialties one before, but that one, like I said, it didn't really keep it as clean as I wanted to. It was just an OEM stock location, all that stuff. So this one's a little bit more tucked, but saving a buck and doing it yourself definitely helps out. So next thing for here, I'm just going to wrap it up in some loom tubing, get it all routed and tucked away nicely how I want it to be. And we're going to go from there. Inside, I'm just going to, like I said, tuck it all away and kind of route everything where it needs to be. Then I might work on the engine harness. I just have to do a couple little things as well with that thing, so to make it look a little bit cleaner. But yeah, so that's basically wiring. It's pretty simple. We still got to relocate the battery. I'll show you guys how to do that here soon, probably this week. I got to get all the stuff kind of, it's on its way. Just need cables and a battery box. So I'll show you guys how to do that. Definitely adds a nice clean look to the engine bay. So yeah, there's wiring. Alright, so I pretty much have all the wiring, at least for the... Oh, and also I forgot to mention, guys, I put in the harnesses and all the wires in for all my gauges as well. I'm talking about the sending, you know, the signal wire for the pressure sensor there, the pressure gauge. Oh, and I have... Right there is the oil pressure gauge, and then right there we have the temperature sensor for the oil as well. So I got all those wires run through as well with the same harness, so you know it's all nice and clean. Everything's run through one little loom, as well as the temperature sensor for the coolant. So that pretty much takes care of the whole lower harness part. I got all the you know the speed sensors and all that stuff down there tucked away, ready to get hooked up to the transmission next. So now I think what we're going to go ahead and do is toss on the intake manifold. I have a new gasket for that as well, so we're going to clean that up and make it a nice seal. Pop that guy on, toss the fuel rail on, and we'll go from there. But yeah, pretty much the whole lower harness is done, guys. All the transmission stuff there is tucked back away there, so that's pretty much it. It looks really clean. Once, you know, I also have to figure out and mount, you know, the fuel filter. Also have to get those lines properly put back together, and just hook up some grounds. And I still have to hook up the starter. And right here I have my distribution block. Basically this will probably sit somewhere around here, and you know main power will come here from the battery, you know, which is going to be the back, and then right there we have our starter wire. So it's pretty awesome the way everything is coming out here. I'm pretty pumped. I'm really happy to be doing all this myself, and you know, just learning along the way. Wiring is pretty simple. I've done a bunch of it in the past, but yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and toss the intake manifold on, and we'll go from there. So I got the fuel rail bolted up. Obviously we didn't put the injectors in there because I don't have the seals that go into the actual intake manifold, and you know, there's seals that go in those holes right there, as well as some that go on the back of the injectors themselves. So I'm not going to do that yet. Gonna finalize all the bolt down stuff, you know, later down the line once we have all the parts, and just kind of wanted to get a test fit. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do, guys, is fit up the front mount, just kind of set it in place. I'm going to get some brackets made this week. So I'm just going to kind of get the intercooler piping for the cold side mocked up again. I already have kind of half of it made up there. I just got to see how much I got to cut off that 90 to hook it up to the front mount. So we'll see how that works. We'll cut that up to size. And then we're going to go ahead and work on the hot side a little bit. Like I said, I bought the piping, so we're just going to kind of see what we can do. I might lop off that little, you know, chunk at the bottom there to weld on our little 90-degree bend. Now, for those of you that are wondering, or for anyone that's new and is just curious about this turbo, this is a Borg-Warner S300. It's a 60mm turbo, and it has a T3.71 AR housing in the rear, so it's going to actually make for a pretty decent spool up. It looks a lot bigger than it actually is. That compressor housing on the front is pretty large, but like I said, it's only a 60mm turbo, so it's smaller than a GT35 and about pretty much the same size as a GT30. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome turbo. Can't wait to hear that thing spool. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just set up this intercooler piping here, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so that's pretty much as far as we can get with the intercooler piping today. I gotta cut some things and, you know, go from there, because it's kind of hard to kind of just think of things and how they're gonna be. I want to be really, you know, I want to be perfect with this stuff. I want to make sure it lines up really well. So I'm gonna go ahead and tomorrow at work, I'm just gonna cut up some of this piping and get it to kind of shape, and we'll go from there. But obviously we have our cold side almost done. I got the measurements for the 90 to bring it back into the intercooler. I know how much I need to cut off of that. Now I need to work on the hot side. Hot side's going to be a little bit tricky just because of this turbo. It kind of sits lower than I want it to, so I'm going to have to cut this little piece off down at the bottom there where it gets a little bit fatter to the 3-inch part, but I have to cut it just enough to where I can actually weld that 3-inch elbow on. So it's going to be close. I might not be able to run the piping how I wanted it to, but you know, hopefully I'll be able to make something work. And that's obviously just going to go bam, you know, down through there and link back up there. So we'll get the cuts done tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to make some moves on from there. But as of today, guys, I'm probably just going to go ahead and try and get the fuel pressure regulator kind of in the spot that I want it to. And then honestly, maybe we might get the fenders on, because I'm just going to get this harness kind of zip tied onto the body. This is all like the lights, turn signals, you know, washer for the wipers, all that stuff. So that actually might be done today as well. You know, it'd be pretty cool to have that on. Maybe even toss the lights on. Actually, you know what? No, won't toss the lights on yet, just because they might get in the way. But maybe the fenders on. It'll look pretty sweet. You know, get a little bit more of a complete car. So that's going to be kind of almost, you know, the plan for tonight. Like I said, just kind of a more casual one. But we're going to go ahead and kind of get this fuel pressure regulator set up. And yeah, we'll go on from there, guys. We might get the fenders on, so should be looking real sweet. Also, I just want to mention, I'm well aware that this looks like crap. I didn't do too well of a wrinkle paint job on this, and I think honestly my problem was it wasn't warm enough, and I didn't let it dry in like direct sunlight, which is recommended. It was actually pretty cold. It was about at least, you know, probably 50, so. And it was inside. I didn't have it dry outside. So I'm going to maybe go ahead and try another attempt on the wrinkle paint. If not, if that doesn't work, I'll probably just get it powder coated. But as you guys can see, I mean, this engine bay is coming along pretty well. I'm going to do a tucked radiator setup, so definitely stay tuned for that video, guys. But yeah, I just want to mention, you know, that doesn't look good right now. And trust me, I know. Well, as of right now, I have no idea where I'm going to put this fuel pressure regulator. Alright, so I think I'm going to end the day with the fenders. We're going to go ahead and slap those guys on, and we're going to call it a night, guys. Well, that's going to do for today's episode, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. For all those guys that are new, welcome aboard. This is going to be an awesome build. We're almost done with it, guys. In about a week or two, we should be on the road and getting it tuned and all that cool stuff. So definitely stay tuned, guys. If you guys are new and you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because like I said, a lot of things are going to be happening. Can't wait to drive this thing. Can't wait to hear this Borg Warner turbo spool. But yeah, we got a bunch of stuff done today. I got my measurements that I need for the piping, and we got the fuel stuff kind of mapped out in my brain a little bit better. And so yeah, that's gonna be it, like I said, for this episode. So as always, guys, just want to say thanks for watching. Sorry I've been lacking on videos, guys. I've just been really busy with work and all that good stuff. But don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Doing the best I can. Videos take hours and hours and hours and days even to make. So definitely stay with me, guys. I really do appreciate the support. As always, you know, you guys know that. So I'm gonna cut it out here, guys, and car looks awesome. Engine bay looks absolutely amazing. And yeah, so I'm pumped. Hope you guys are pumped, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.